Super Mario Bros. 3 was always destined to become gaming royalty. The monumental success of the original game resulted in thousands of consoles landing in living rooms across the world, and practically everyone wanted more of that sweet Super Mario action. Sequels were practically a given. Whether you're talking about the Japan-only sequel or the far superior sequel we received in North America, the brand was on fire. And through a series of cross-promotions that took place alongside these sequels, a third game was a surefire thing. We had the animated series, which was sandwiched between a live-action intro and outro segment. These live-action segments were unique for simply being a thing. Making them more interesting is the cast. WWE Hall of Famer Captain Lou Albano as Mario himself, and the lesser-known Danny Wells playing Luigi. These segments would usually have some kind of guest, often a celebrity, and gave the show a sort of legitimacy. The animated bits were nothing to scoff at either. While they aren't exactly the best quality, they did a lot to strengthen the series' lore. You'd frequently see old standbys like Bowser, Mario, Princess, and Toad, but also the various enemies. I remember being really into the inclusion of the baddies from the North American Mario 2, like Mauser. Cool stuff. Then we have the sugary deliciousness that was the Nintendo cereal system. A box of breakfast cereal that included two varieties, one themed around Mario and the other themed around Zelda. The Mario half of this box of goodness was fruit flavored, whereas the Zelda side was berry flavored, in case you were wondering. Unfortunately, this was only on store shelves for about a year, but I think the fact that I remember eating it speaks volumes. And of course, there would soon be a live-action Hollywood movie that not so stealthily promoted the hell out of the upcoming Mario 3, and I was definitely there for it. The movie I'm talking about is none other than The Wizard. It was an interesting movie in that it followed a boy as he set out to compete in a video game competition, which culminated in the reveal of Super Mario Bros. 3. Throughout the movie, there is a deluge of Nintendo everywhere. One character even uses a power glove to play Rad Racer. The movie didn't have a bad cast either. It featured the likes of Fred Savage, Beau Bridges, and Christian Slater, all big names throughout the late 80s and early 90s. All this to say that Super Mario 3 was a huge deal. Not just to gamers, but to popular culture in general. And I won't beat around the bush here. It absolutely lived up to the hype. The game borrows heavily from prior games, even the North American Super Mario Bros. 2. The game sees you controlling Mario or Luigi as you navigate them from left to right until you reach the end of the stage. Pretty standard stuff. As in the first game, you'll find power-ups and secrets along the way, most of them optional. Mario 3 deviates from its predecessors by offering up loads more power-ups and enemies, each requiring a different approach. The Goombas and Koopas function about the same, but now you have the piranha plants spewing fireballs, enemies that can pick up and throw blocks at you, or the meme favorite, Sun, that chases you down. In addition to the standard baddies, you'll also find a variety of boss characters, the Koopalings. Where the original Mario game had a castle stage ending in a decoy fight with Bowser, and Mario 2 had bespoke boss fights, Mario 3 lands somewhere in the middle. It features a mid-castle that culminates in a battle with a guy known as Boom Boom. These battles function fairly similarly to the fights with Bowser in the original game, as he only makes small, incremental changes to his tactics from one battle to the next. However, the real deviation comes when you reach the castle of an area and board the airship. After navigating these auto-scrolling death traps, you face off with one of the Koopalings. And these fights borrow a bit from Mario 2, as each of them has a unique ability that you have to contend with. Wendy, for example, spawns these projectiles that bounce around the screen. The longer you take to defeat her, the more treacherous the fight. Another example is the fight with Roy, as he performs this ground pound that will stun you if you're on the ground when he hits. The final fight with Bowser is drastically overhauled as well. Though not exactly difficult, it's much more of a spectacle than we've seen before. Instead of standing in place and hurling projectiles and fireballs at you, he performs a ground pound in an effort to smash you while still hurling the occasional fireball at you. It's good stuff all around. The power-ups too have been greatly expanded. The old standbys are still here, mushroom, fire flower, and star. But now there are other options. The raccoon tail is probably the big one, as it allows Mario to take to the air so long as he gets a running start. There are others too, such as the Hammer Brothers suit that allows Mario to sling hammers at his foes, a frog suit which greatly improves mobility in the water but at the cost of being less effective on land, and even a variant of the raccoon transformation known as the Tanuki suit. This one allows Mario to temporarily turn into a statue, which can be used to take out certain enemies. There is another one I want to mention, though it's less of a power-up and more of a neat mechanic: the Goomba in a boot. If you can take out the Goomba with your tail, you can actually jump into the boot and use it for yourself. This can be super helpful since it allows you to take out spiky enemies and allows you to jump real high. Unfortunately, it is only available in a handful of levels. You know, as I write this segment, I've come to a bit of a realization. I've always lauded Mario 3 for its huge variety of power-ups, even compared to Super Mario World. But that really isn't the case. In actuality, many of these are simple variants of one another. For example, the raccoon tail, Tanuki suit, and P-wing largely serve the same purpose with very slight variations, and if you lump those together, you're only really left with the fire flower, star, mushroom, hammer suit, and frog suit. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Quite the opposite, actually. I think the fact that these all stood out as individual power-ups in my mind for all of these years speaks volumes, despite the fact that the three of them are nearly identical. Before we wrap up this section, I want to quickly mention a few other items. These aren't exactly power-ups, but still serve a purpose. The music box will put the Hammer Brothers to sleep, the cloud allows you to skip over a level, the hammer will break down rubble in your path on the overworld map, and the whistle allows you to jump ahead to other worlds. Anyway, as I said earlier, the game still features a good amount of secrets hidden within its stages, and it's here that the game adopts things from Mario 2 as well as the Mario Bros. Arcade game a bit. You see, a lot of the secrets you'll find will be hidden in the vertical plane. Maybe in the clouds as in the first game, but maybe not. Many of them are usually available with just a little bit of flight into the right place in the sky. Likewise, some of the levels wrap in on themselves and require a bit of navigational skill in order to find all of the secrets, though these are largely optional. One way that Mario 3 trumps the previous entries is in its sheer scope. There are so many levels to play in this game, and not all of them are required for completion. Mario 3 features 8 total worlds, each with their own distinct themes. Some of these are exactly what you would expect, others not so much. Giant Land gets a lot of attention due to the fact that everything is huge in this area. The enemies, the objects within the stage, everything. It makes Mario seem very small in comparison. I think this one sticks out simply because the NES wasn't known for having large sprites, yet here we are. Skyland is one that I've always found interesting. You start off playing a series of ground-based levels before reaching this spiraling tower. Up to this point, we haven't seen anything quite like this in the game, so it's very enticing. As you play through it and reach the top, you find yourself not at a boss fight, but in the clouds, with a whole slew of new stages to complete. Pipeland, aka World 7, sucks. I kind of hate it. But I can't deny the novelty of this area. This is the world that borrows a fair bit from the Mario Bros. Arcade game. You see, the arcade title has stages that sort of wrap in on themselves, so if you run off the screen to the right, you'll find yourself coming out the left side of the screen. It's kind of trippy. Well, World 7 has a handful of stages that use this mechanic, along with a lot of maze-like pipes to traverse. It's definitely not my favorite, but I can't deny that it is interesting. One last tidbit about the worlds and levels of Mario 3 is that you don't need to play most of them if you don't want to. That's assuming you know where to find the warp whistles. If memory serves, there are a total of 3 warp whistles in the game, and using them can easily land you in World 8 in no time. That being said, I wouldn't recommend this as World 8 can be brutal. Many people claim that Mario 3 is the best of the 2D Mario titles. Heck, I was one of them for a long time. but I'm not so sure that's warranted now that I've gone back and re-examined it. I'll save that discussion for a future video, but let's go over some of the flaws I found during my time revisiting this game. First, and most immediately apparent, is that the levels are crazy short. And I'm not exaggerating. They're probably about the same length as those found in the original game, only packed with more variety. When I started the capture process, I thought it'd be best to capture one level at a time, and I certainly did not expect the average level to take less than 2 minutes to complete. Some of them took less than 1. Yikes. Next up is the power-ups. While I appreciate the variety, many of them are simply not that useful. Sure, the raccoon tail, P-wing, and Tanuki suit can all help you fly, but they are largely the same power-up. And in the case of the Tanuki suit, the ability to turn into a statue is mostly useless. Then you have things like the Hammer Brothers suit or the Frog suit. Both can be sort of useful, but both are seldom available, which means by the time you obtain them, you are well versed in playing the game without them, making them more of a hindrance than anything. Lastly would be the mid-boss, Boom Boom. He just doesn't change all that much. I haven't played this game in a few years, but I had no trouble trouncing this guy again and again. Sure, he'll sprout wings from time to time, but you won't see any footage of that because I had him down before he could get off the ground. These are pretty minor gripes at best. Super Mario Bros. 3 is an amazing platformer, and the perfect send-off for the NES console. It has the presentation, level design, and gameplay variety to best many of the system's best games, and with room to spare. If you're a younger gamer and haven't taken the time to play this one, do yourself a favor and make a point of powering through it. You can thank me later. Thanks for watching.